to the other. Understand, sister?
Yes, Jazakallah Shaykh.
Yeah. Chapter number 1. Bismillah, salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi min wala muttaba huda ila yawmiddin, amma ba'd. Exaggeration in the graves of the righteous persons tends them to become idols worshipped besides Allah. In other words, what the author is saying, that if you venerate the graves, they will become like idols. If you exaggerate, okay, and raise the graves of the righteous people, that will make them just like idols, and they will be worshipped. And then he's used the hadith of Imam Malik, that the Prophet ﷺ also called that the graves are idols. Graves are idols, can become idols. Imam Malik rahimahullah recorded in his book Muwatta that the Prophet ﷺ said, Allahumma la taj'al qabri wathanan yu'bad اشتد غضب الله على قوم اتخذوا قبور أنبيائهم مساجدا. Oh Allah, never turn my grave into an idol to be worshipped. Allah's wrath, Allah's anger intensified on a people who turned the Prophet's graves into masjid, or into masajid. So here the Prophet ﷺ is pleading to Allah, praying to Allah not to make his grave what? An idol. Which means if the grave is worshipped, it becomes idol. Are you following? If a grave is worshipped, it becomes what? Idol. So that's why the Prophet ﷺ was praying to Allah, oh Allah, don't make my grave an idol, which means worshipped. And Allah alhamdulillah protected his grave from being worshipped. Is this clear to you? So any grave that is worshipped, that becomes idol, if you are worshipping it. So what is the idol? Anything that is worshipped. Anything you worship, that is idol. A tree is an idol. It's not necessarily image. If you are worshipping a tree, that is idol itself. Are you following? So because in the Arabic language we have sanam and wathan. Sanam and wathan. Sanam if it takes a form. Wathan without any form. If you want to draw it mathematically, 2 circles. If the sanam is wathan, you understand? So the sanam is the one that has forms. 2 circles, one inside the other. The one inside is the sanam. So every sanam is wathan. But not every wathan is sanam. So we have 2 words, sanam and wathan. In English, idol. Idol, which means anything that is worship, whether it has a specific form or not. Is this clear? Sisters, are you following? Said, أَفَرَأَيْتُمُ اللَّاتَ وَالْعُزَّى. Have you then considered Al-Lata and Al-Uzza? Ibn Jarir al-Tabari reported from Sufyan, from Mansur, from Mujahid. Mujahid is the student of Ibn Abbas. He said, كان اللات كان يلت لهم السويق فمات فعكفوا على قبره. He, Allata was a good man, a holy man, wali. Okay? He was a good man. He, Lata, used to serve the pilgrims, by preparing sawiq. The sawiq is fine flour of barley or wheat mixed with water and ghee for them. After his death, the people began to stay and confine at his grave for the purpose of reward. Exactly what happened in the people of Nuh. So Allata was a good man, helping the Hujjaj, the pilgrims. After his death, the people stayed at his grave. The same was reported by Abu al-Jawza rahimahullah from Ibn Abbas. Ibn Abbas reported the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, لعن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم زائرات القبور والمتخذين عليها المساجد والسرج. This hadith, the first portion is correct, the second incorrect. The first portion of the hadith is authentic. Why it is authentic? Because it has been reported in many authentic narrations. The last portion here is weak narration, where it says وَالْمُتَّخِذِينَ عَلَيْهَا الْمَسَاجِدَ وَالسُّرِجِ. Allah's Messenger ﷺ cursed the women who visit the graves. This is correct. He ﷺ also cursed those who set up mosques and lights over graves. This narration is weak. Are you following? This narration is weak narration. So the authentic narration, though we know it is haram, it is haram, of course, to build over the mosque and to make lights. That's haram, no doubt, because in Islam you are not allowed to raise the grave in the first place. But here, that portion, this narration, according to the rule or the criterion of hadith, the isnad is, there is weakness in the isnad. But the portion that says لعن Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam زائرات القبور, this has been mentioned and reported in many authentic narrations, the same wordings. Are you following? The same wordings. Allah, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said لعن الله زوارات القبور or زائرات القبور. So Allah's curse upon the women who visit the grave yards. Are you following? I'm going to come to elaborate. I haven't. We're just talking now from hadith perspective. Okay? Now we are coming to this hadith. That the Prophet ﷺ says, Allah's Messenger cursed the women who visit the graveyards. And because of this hadith, the ulama differed. Can women visit the graveyards or can't they? Some, they said no, based on this hadith. That the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Allah cursed the women who go to the qabristan, who go to the cemetery, graveyard. But this hadith has another wording, لَعَنَ اللَّهُ زَوَّارَاتٍ, which means the frequent visitors, those who visit the graves frequently, all the time they go to the graves. So they said, sisters, are you following? So they said, what is haram is the frequent visiting, that women should not keep visiting the graveyards frequently. That's one thing. Second thing, that when they go to the graveyards, they should not bewail, bewailing, lamenting, cry. If they do that, then they are not allowed to go there. They used and mentioned other evidences for this